Hey, everybody. It's Wednesday, and you know what time that is. If it's Wednesday, it's time for chasing gazillions. Ain't the same as making millions.
Getting close from Southwest Florida.
Getting closer in Southwest Florida. Hey, everybody, I'm Anthony Bowling, and we're here with my partner, Fernando. It's Wednesday, and it's just two real estate professionals coming together to talk to you about our week, what's going on in our life, and try to provide some helpful information that will benefit you as a real estate professional out here in the marketplace around the world. And we got an exciting guest here today that's going to be coming to you live from Fort Meyers, Florida, to talk to you about how you can be a servant leader and get involved with what's going on down there in the wake of Hurrancan IAN. We're going to be bringing on Brett Ellis from the Ellis team down there. But before we bring him on in the next minute, are you in town, Fernando?
I'm home. You can see Lenny behind me. If you can see Lenny, I'm home.
Okay, fair enough. All right.
Yeah, he doesn't travel. He doesn't go on the road.
How's your mom?
Mom is home. She's home.
Wow, great job. Okay.
Out.
That's great to hear.
She is out of the rehab center and back at with my brother. They're bringing her daily therapy there, and they're going to hopefully trying to figure out how we can get like a nurse to come in every day and just kind of check on her and work with her a little bit. So we're moving forward. I mean, she's ready to go. So she's ready to go back to Peru to go visit there, like in December or January. So I may be going with her.
Right. Why is your screen shimmering again, man? I know you upgraded to a nice video thing.
Yeah. What's wrong?
You're shimmering.
I'm a shimmerer.
No. What's going on with your camera, man? Are you on your phone?
No.
We're gonna have to work on that internet service out there. When you're home, man, you shimmer. You shimmer.
The lighting's beautiful here. Look at the lighting.
All right, great. All right. Anything exciting happened this week here out there at Hilco Real Estate?
We got some stuff going on, man. I'm working on a couple deals in New York that I'm trying to lock up. I have I'd like to find, I'm excited about Brett Ellis coming on today and seeing what's going on down there. I think
Florida is your market. That's your area, is it?
It is. I grew up in Miami, so right. I know the area. So I'm interested to hear what he has to say. And just here working, man. No Maryland football, of course, won again. That was a good weekend.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't follow Big Ten football of teams that left the ACC to chase money and all. I really don't get behind that.
That's $7 billion. I think you'd follow that. I think you'd follow $7 billion in TV contracts. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I think you would. Yeah, I got one good little nice nugget from this week. I got to play Columbia Country Club yesterday.
Out playing golf again without me.
Very exclusive, home of the 1924 U.S. Open.
Okay.
Bobby Jones played there, shot a 9 on number 9 on the hole number 9. He shot a 9. I partied yesterday. Oh, and almost had an eagle from 190 yards, hit it to like an inch.
Yeah. When you gonna come play with me down at Haynes Point on my one hole?
I'm out. Never. The word is never. But that was fun. It was through an auction event that I won and finally cashed in.
All right, good. Well,
how about you? What's going on with you?
Hey, man, it's been a good week. I spent a week with the appraisal board, Arrow is the association for appraisers. It's a national association. They had their conference last week here in DC. I was there for a week, serving as a regulator in my role on the DC Real Estate Appraisal Commission. And it was so informative, man. There was so much information. One of the highlights is really talking about, which is one of the topics we want to, bring here to our audience, is about appraisal bias. It's real. It's a real thing that happens. And there was a lot of training for the industry on how to spot it. And when you're going from just having normal personal bias, which we all have, to crossing the line where it's negatively impacting valuations of properties different from individuals who are Black, Asian versus Caucasian. We getting different values in these areas, and it was just a great week. I'm glad to be a part of it. So that's where I spent most of my time last week. Closing the deal here Friday, on a 13-unit apartment building. Finally, we're going to get across the goal line here at 1800 Shepherd Street Northeast, 13 units. And
I got a new property under contract yesterday as well.
Oh, you did?
Rogers, Arkansas, a piece of land owned by At Home.
Nice.
Contract yesterday. Yeah, it's a nice.
You're working, man. You're working. Well, look, let's bring on our guest, Brett Ellis, because he looks like he's getting a little antsy there in the green room.
I got some hitting questions for him, too. I'm excited about this.
Brett Ellis.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm awesome, and thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I like you. You like this Fernando 3 or you like the 2E?
Well, you always get the bigger screen, Anthony. So however you want it, that's what it'll be. I mean, I don't even have a choice in the matter. I'm not even sure why you asked me, because you always get the big. That's good right there.
How's that one? Okay.
Yeah, that one's good. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Okay, fine. There we go. All right. You see what I'm working with here, Brett? You see?
Well, I can see. Yeah.
Yeah. The back is hurting carrying this dude, man.
Oh, Jesus. I could show you the scars, but I won't. All right, Brett. Well, welcome on board.
To chasing gazillions. Not the same as making millions.
Like it.
Yeah. Welcome to our show.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, your career, your family, who you are. Let us know. Let our audience know.
I'm a realtor down in Southwest Florida. I've been doing this about 34 years. I came into the business, joined my mother, who's also a CCIM, and she's still working away with us. And the two of us lead our team, the Ellis Team, down here at Keller Williams. And we just enjoy, helping families, with their real estate needs and businesses as well. So, and then of course we got hit with this Hurricane Ian a few weeks ago, so that disrupted our patterns. But it's great to see how our community came together, how our company came together, and we just, we've been through a few hurricanes before, and I got to tell you, our company just really steps up, and I want to thank all over the country. We have this thing called KW Cares, and I contribute a little bit of money out of every commission to it. And you don't realize how important it is until you're on the receiving end of it. But I took our truck, and we had these semis coming in from all over the country. KW out of Austin, but over on the east coast of Florida and Tampa, just from all over. And I think we unloaded about 1,264 generators and distribute them to people who needed them, with gas cans, food, just you name it. We met the needs of the community as best we could, and that's not all encompassing, but I'm so proud of what we did, and we couldn't have done it. It wasn't that we did it. everybody did it. We just played a small part, and it was really cool. It's times like this when you find out who your friends are and about humanity. You see the good and the bad of humanity.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
can our guys help then? I mean, let us know how can we help the recovery process?
Well, I think so. We're 4 weeks ago today, Hurricane Ian hit.
Right.
And right now we're inundated with contractors and trucks, and the traffic's really bad, but they're making some big progress. I would say right now, the biggest thing people could do, there's definitely needs here, but just loading up a truck and coming down is probably not the most efficient way. So at the point we're in now, I would say for Keller Williams agents, just keep donating to KW Cares, and they'll distribute the money to us or to some other need. Red Cross, Salvation Army have done a great job. There's a local food bank here. They feed a lot of people in ordinary times. I can just imagine they're feeding people in these kinds of times. People are homeless, lost everything. We donate time there from time to time and money, but it's the Harry Chapin Food Bank. Those guys are just awesome on a local level, and I can't. That's just a great organization. 100% of what you give gets out to the people. In fact, it's better than that because if I try to buy $100 worth of food, I get $100 of food, but they can buy in bulk. They can buy more than I can. So
Okay.
they're better at than I am. So it really gets to the people.
Hey, Brett, do you have a number for the Harry Chapin Food Bank?
Let's see. I looked it up just in case somebody would ask me, and it is area code 239-334-7007.
Let's see if we. How's that? Harry Chapin Food Bank?
Yeah, Harry Chapin Food Bank. Yep,
All right, great.
that's it.
Well, Brett, you bring up a great thing about the culture of Keller Williams International and how we as agents have the opportunity to contribute from our commissions money towards KW Cares. It's a little bit goes a long way, and here we get to see an example of how that charitable contribution has a big impact on the lives of people whose lives have been devastated and upturned by Hurricane Ian. So we want to continue to encourage people out there in their organizations, whether you're Keller Williams or wherever. Charity begins at home. A little bit can go a long way and make a difference.
That's right. And I saw so many people benefit, and it brought them to tears. So I remember one agent that we actually delivered some stuff to their home, and they broke down crying at one of our meetings, and they said, I didn't feel deserving. Like there's so many other people have it worse than I, and yet each one of them is deserving. But when you see someone lose their whole house or lose their life or lose whatever, and then you've got some damage and no power and no water and your car's flooded out, but you think, hey, I'm not deserving because I'm not as bad as some of those other people. And quite frankly, we're not used to receiving help. We're used to being the breadwinner and providing for everyone else. It's a little bit humbling to admit that you need help sometimes. And I watch that, and sometimes we have to convince people that it's okay to take help.
Yes.
Nice. That's good. That's what it should be. Where are you guys in terms of your current state? Are you still like in the cleanup phase of post
Yeah,
hurricane?
we're all over. It kind of depends. So I live in Fort Myers. My office in Fort Myers. We just opened our office back up about a week ago. But if you are at Fort Myers Beach, there's a good chance your property is half torn up or just completely gone, like gone, gone. Same thing at Sanibel and Captiva. Cape Corals was a little tore up. We had some rising flood waters depending on where you were. And then we have some other areas that aren't as bad or that bad at all. I'm in a new home community, and I feel blessed. I just moved in the last year, and my home didn't take on a lot of damage because it was built to the newer codes.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, if you were one of those homes that flooded, that's about as devastating as a fire because it's indiscriminate. whatever you have, it takes, so.
Yeah. What about the infrastructure, like the roads, utilities, services like restaurants, gas stations, that kind of thing? What's the status on that stuff?
So most of the roads are pretty good. The road to Sanibel Captiva was taken out. The road to Pine Island was taken out. And our governor and sheriff found a way to kind of rebuild some roads within 10 days. And they got the road to Pine Island up and running. They'll have a more permanent solution over the next year or so, but now we can get on Sanibel and Captiva. We can get places again. So all our roads are okay now, pretty much okay to drive. Infrastructure is coming back. We probably got power to 95% of the people who could receive it.
That's
If you
great.
live on the beach or in Sanibel, you need to get an electrician to certify that your home can receive it. Because I mean, we turn power on and some homes caught on fire because of damage and whatnot. So
Right.
but other than that, most homes are doing pretty good. Most homes have power. Most homes have internet, water, and sewer again.
How about like restaurants, gas stations, that kind of thing?
Almost all gas stations and restaurants are now open, except if they were in one of the critical areas or just flooded out.
What would you say is the some of the critical areas? Obviously, Captiva, right? Sanibel. I
Fort
mean,
Myers Beach is probably the worst.
okay.
Matlacha, which is heading out to Pine Island, uh, is not good. And then Sanibel and Captiva were not great. I mean, if you were on the shoreline, probably not great. Some of the homes are okay; they just flooded, but the homes are there. Um, and then Cape Coral. Cape Coral had some damage, and they've got a lot of people flooded. And then we have this place called the Iona area down in South Fort Myers. A lot of that took on water and whatnot. But um, if you had a newer home to newer codes, you probably did all right. You did better than the older ones because the codes were this. They had higher wind standards, and then the elevation standards were higher. So now we've got this thing that we're doing is the FEMA 50% rule. I don't know if you guys deal with that up there, but we're learning a lot about the 50% rule. And
Tell us
going
about it.
forward, well, the 50% rule is you have a improved structure value to your property. And if more than 50% of that was damaged and you're in a floodplain, FEMA can dictate that you now have to build up to the current codes, meaning the higher wind standards, and you have to bring that elevation up. So down at the beach, you might have to bring it up 10, 15 feet. Um, in other areas, you may have to bring it up 2, 3, 4 feet. And it's an increased cost and it's going to price some people out. We're also learning only 18% of people in Florida had flood insurance. And a lot of people couldn't afford the flood insurance, so they just didn't carry it. And even if you had it, it would only cover $250,000. Well, flood, if it knocks your house out and you have to do a rebuild, it could cost a lot more than $250,000 to have to rebuild to the new codes. So some people are just walking away and they're saying, either I don't have the financial resources to do it, and the other ones are saying I don't have the heart to do it. You got to have the heart to do this.
Yeah. Are people already walking away? I mean, it's only been a month. I mean, you have people telling you
They're not walking away. They're contacting people like us and they're saying, I'm out of here. I'm done. I can't do this. I just want. So I had one the other day where I've had several, and we have to counsel each one of them. And some of them say, I just want to take the insurance money for whatever they give me, and I want you to sell the land, or I want you to sell the house for whatever you think it's worth. I just don't want any part in improving. And then we have to say, if you take the insurance money and fix it up, you're going to get more money. And some of them, yes, they're doing that, and some of them are, I don't want to do that. But then the new buyer inherits. It depends if we work out an assignment of claim or if the claim stays with the seller, and then the new buyer must be a cash buyer, is not going to be able to get insurance until they make the improvements. So it's just all in the numbers at that point.
Yeah, that's tricky.
So so we have a dichotomy of a market right now. We've got people who've lived here, put their blood, sweat, tears, their lives into it, and some of them want to keep going and some don't. The beauty of the land is this: the land and the real estate, it's worth something to somebody, but it may not be worth something to the person who's in it. So there's tremendous opportunity if your heart is in it,
Mhm.
So, but maybe you've been through a couple of hurricanes before and said, I'm not doing this again. So the land will always be, and the Southwest Florida will always be beautiful and what it is, but it depends on what view you come from. If you've got the heart to go forward and do certain things. And I don't want to give people the false impression that our entire area is messed up, but obviously the barrier islands are worse.
Right.
You know,
I mean, they're out there taking the pounding.
And then as real estate professionals, it puts us. It's a surreal situation because on the one hand, we're helping clients unload maybe a lifetime of memories and stuff, and then the other side. Have you heard that country song that's she's on the feel good side of leaving?
Mhm.
So then you've got maybe an investor or someone else who's going to come in and they see opportunity. They're all excited. So you've got one person who's kind of not feeling good about things, and you're working with someone else who's really feeling good about things, about the opportunity. And we have to merge the two and kind of work with their lives. And that's kind of it's kind of
A tricky
imagine
balance.
being a marriage counselor, but at the same time you're counseling their marriage that isn't going to work. You're also a matchmaker and you're lining up their next date. That's what it
Yeah.
feels like emotionally. You are working them through the relationship that isn't going to make it. But by the way, I'll find you your next spouse at the same time.
That's complicated.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that is incredible, Brett. That's a wonderful analogy to describe what real estate professionals really are doing when they are serving their community in the way that you are down there in Fort Myers. We love that there's a shepherd that's there tending to the flock and addressing all the needs, economic, emotional, social, and creating a balance and opportunity to do good and be good down in Florida. Great
We
job.
spoke
Yeah.
we spoke about this a little bit yesterday, Brett. Me and you did. So has there been any reduction in prices in terms of the houses post Ian?
Yes and no.
Yeah, you said
Um,
no. You thought no, right? You told me.
for the most part, no. But where I've seen reductions are for the people who it kind of depends. If you're taking the insurance off the table and you're saying I'm selling the house as is, and like I had a house that had 32 inches of water in it, and he's selling it as is. So I obviously couldn't sell it for what it was worth before the storm. Um, I've because someone is going to take over. They won't be able to get insurance. They're going to have to put some money into it, and then they're going to want a little bit of a risk premium on top of that. So that's that home isn't going to sell. So that could affect the numbers. And we talked to an appraiser yesterday, and they just want us as agents to kind of document in the multiple listing, like, hey, this home was damaged, and here's how we did it, so that they can get an accurate. So it wouldn't, it wasn't a arm's length. I mean, it was at arm's length, but it wasn't your traditional type sale. It was a damaged home sale,
Is there a
almost like a
disclosure you'll have
disaster
to
sale.
sign? Is there a
What's that?
disclosure? Is there a disclosure you're going to have to get signed saying this home was damaged by Hurricane Ian?
Well, what I've been doing, I thought there was going to be a form that came out from our board, and I haven't seen it yet. So I
Man.
put in the MLS, this home has been damaged. I talk about in each of my listings if there's a flood claim, if there's an HOA claim or a homeowner's claim. I had the buyer document that in the contract. I had to sign the seller's property disclosure, which documented all of that. So yes, we are documenting all of that because we want everyone to know. And for the last several years, I've sold a lot of homes sight unseen. People trust us, and if they're
Good.
going to buy sight unseen now, which these people were here, but I want them to know exactly what they're getting to the best we can.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I mean, what are people getting insurance payouts already or no? Right? I mean, it can't be working that quickly.
Insurance adjusters have come to a lot of homes, and then I'm still hearing from some people that haven't heard from their insurance person. So it kind of depends on who the insurance is. Is it the flood person? A lot of them have already come out. Um, we have 5 entities that administer the NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program. Get City of Cape Coral, City of Fort Myers. You've got Lee County. Various those overlays that you do, and they're hiring people to come out and basically write on each home if they feel like it meets the 50%, if it's buildable, if it's habitable. Certain things, kind of almost like what's the word when back in the MASH show where they not Armitage, but
Triage.
triage, yeah, almost like an engineering triage, so to speak. And is that 100% accurate? Probably not, but it's good enough, and they're making decisions, and it's kind of how things are going. But not every insurance company has gotten out to every home. There's no way.
So, last question for you, and I really appreciate your time, Brett. And Anthony may have a couple questions, but how does this compare to Charlie and Irma? I know we talked about this as well.
Well, Charlie was a buzzsaw of a storm. It moved quickly, and it was the entire storm of Charlie would fit in the eye of Ian. Irma was a big storm. Ian was a pretty big storm. I'm not sure which is bigger, but the we were at 155-mile-an-hour winds, just too shy of a Cat 5. I had experienced something in this storm I didn't really experience in the other storms. My ears started, I don't know if popping is the right word, but when you go up in an airplane, I could feel it in my ears, and I told everyone, like, wow, the pressure changed. And then my neighbors, they have in your attics, you have that little crawl space and like a little piece of wood you put up there to kind of as an access point. He watched his get sucked up into the attic from the pressure. I don't know how that happens, but I didn't feel that in Charlie, Wilma, or Irma, that sort of thing. So I think this storm is going to be more devastating, at least for us, for sure. And this storm was slower. It was going about 8 miles an hour. It was predicted to stall for a day. Thank God it didn't. But when you've got a big wind field, 150-mile-an-hour winds going 8 miles an hour, my home was in the eye wall, not the eye, but the eye wall for about 6 to 8 hours. And the wind changed directions a couple times.
Wow.
So the front of my home got hit last, but the back was getting hit, and it was coming from the south. It started from the south. It sounded like a train for about 6 hours.
Wow. Hey, Brett, tell me, and I'm going to have my question right after this. How does an individual reach you directly by phone, you and your team? What's the number?
You could call our office, 239-489-4042. My mother, Sandy, and myself, and I've got a team of buyer specialists too. We're all there to help. Sandy and I pretty much do the listings on the team, and we've got buyer specialists that pretty much handle, all the buyers. We meet with them every day, and that's probably a good way to get us. My email address is brett@topagent.com. You can read our blog at blog.topagent.com. I mean, if you Google us,
I like that. Brett and his mom.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. My mom
So
might
let
not
me-
like it.
so
She
let me
could say,
ask you,
why not
Brett.
Sandy? It should say Sande Ellis and her son.
I'll let you deal with your mom on that, Brett.
Okay, all right.
That's why she didn't get top billing. Hey,
What's that?
look, Brett. So someone is at my door. They knock. They say, "Hey, Anthony, I'm looking for opportunities. It's terrible what happened down in Fort Myers, the storm and all. But I think, there might be an opportunity." Now, how are you responding to those kind of inquiries, given that you have a storm, you have interest rates are going up, we're in a recession? What do you say to me and my investor who comes to your door today and say, "Hey, where's there an opportunity for us, Brett, down here in Florida?" What do you say?
The opportunity is changing daily. So I would probably sit down and have a conversation with you and find out what your objective is. What are you trying to accomplish? How much money do you have to work with? Are you looking for something to flip? Are you looking to something to buy and hold for a while and rent out? Are you looking to Airbnb? Are you looking for something, maybe a second home kind of thing? What do you like to do for fun, for for a living and whatnot? Could this be something you could work remotely out of? Once I find out what you're trying to do, then we can talk about, okay, how much down would you need? And then the opportunities are changing daily. So depending on, it's like an interview process. When I find out what you want, then properties come and they go fast. And sometimes they come and they sit because we have to wait on an insurance claim for 4 months. But I may know that, hey, this is the type of property that works for you. If you can wait out this insurance claim, it's going to work out real well for you. Or you can take on a deal that you don't have to wait for the insurance claim. Maybe we can do an assignment of claim, or take over the flood policy, or any number of things. But it all begins with communication. All begins with an understanding, and it's the same as pre-storm. When we dealt with someone, I like to have an understanding of what's important to them, and then we can match you up with the right situation, because opportunities come and go. But without that understanding, if I didn't have that understanding, I'd be just a salesman, just selling quicksand to whoever. And
Sure.
we're not into selling quicksand. We're into finding out what's important and then matching you up with something that makes sense for you.
Fantastic. I love it. I love it, Brett. Hey, Brett Ellis, everybody, and the Ellis team, his mom, Sandy, and the rest of the Brett Ellis team down in Fort Meyers, Florida. There's his number, 239-489-4082. You can reach his office down
4042. 4042.
Oh, hold on now. He's saying I need to edit that.
Yeah, because somebody will get a whole bunch of calls to the
yeah, that's right.
place.
So it's 239-489.
4042.
Brett, are you a golfer?
I golf once or twice a year, and sometimes I go 2-3 years without doing that.
All right.
Anthony only golfs one hole at a time.
And you can throw your back out doing that. So do you want to watch that? If you need to stretch, you need to stretch and not throw out your back on that. Brett, thank you again for coming on our show. It's wonderful to hear about all the good work that you all are doing down at Keller Williams, down there in Florida. Please send me, through. Are you all using Command and all down there in Florida? Register me, send me the referral, because you're my Florida referral partner now down there. And we hope to earn the opportunity to be your referral partner here in the DMV area as well. We appreciate it. Thank you. And hey, we're right on time here, Fernando.
Are we done? We're gonna go.
Yeah, this is a great show. This is a great show.
All right.
I would tell everybody as we're closing. We had our sponsor, Global Scholars Foundation, and we had our major event a couple weeks ago where we had our brunch and their third annual golf outing. And I want everyone to know, I want to thank and give my thanks to everyone who supported the Global Scholars Foundation third annual event. We raised almost $90,000 for that charitable organization, the Global Scholars Foundation. That's right, this year, almost $90,000 raised to support that nonprofit and the work that they do. And we're happy for all your support, what you gave and participated in. It was fantastic. And we look forward to taking those young children. They made the decision they're going to be going to Korea next year. Or is that Vietnam? Maybe it's Vietnam and Korea.
I think it's both. I think it was both.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's becoming. But Brett, hey, all the best. Thank you again for coming on to our show. This has been Chasing Gazillions. It's not the same as making millions.
Jan Higgisio.
All right.
Season 1, episode 26.
Episode 26. All the best, everyone. Take care. We'll see you all soon.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Brett.